Have a few minutes? You won't believe what you can do with it. Open a Regions checking account online in as little as 5 minutes. Then enjoy award-winning service and banking tools and tech that help you live in the moment. Learn more at regions.com/live in the moment. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Gwinnett Business Radio. Gwinnett Business Radio is presented by Regions Bank. Brave the beginning. Member FDIC.
And hello again, everybody, and welcome to Gwinnett Business Radio alongside Steve and Julian. Mike Salmon with you on this award-winning program, Gwinnett Business Radio.
Hey, we're back to award-winning.
I haven't been saying that for a while, but we are, so we might as well use it, right?
Might as well.
Yeah,
it's still sitting on our fantastic table.
Exactly. Well, we've got a full house here. Yoshi Domoto is with us. He's with the JapanFest Society of Georgia, and they've got their big annual event coming up at the Gas South District. It's JapanFest, and we love talking to Yoshi every year. And he brought 3 of his closest friends with him today. And before we get to Yoshi and our guests, let's go ahead and
take care of some business.
Take care of business.
Since we're going to be talking about business and it's Business Radio.
Somebody's got to pay for the show.
Absolutely, and
unless
that
Yoshi wants to pay for the show, but no,
he's staying quiet right now.
He didn't bring his
talk
wallet
in a minute.
Yeah,
okay.
He didn't bring his wallet.
So I do want to remind everybody that Gwinnett Business Radio is brought to you by Regions Bank. We all know keeping your company's financial future on track means having the right resources to support your growth. Regions Commercial Banking offers you lending capabilities and strategic solutions tailored to your needs, and you'll work with a team of experienced bankers here in Gwinnett. Discover steps to take that can help move you closer to your business goals. Regions is here to help. To learn more, visit regions.com/commercial-banking. Regions Bank, member FDIC. Oh.
And we want to thank Regions. They've been partners now for about 2 years, and they've put up with these shenanigans for 2 years.
They've even taken you on the road a little bit. Mike Travels America.
The guests are looking at us like, what the heck's going on?
Well, let's get to the guests, because that is also incredibly important.
We locked the doors. You folks aren't going anywhere. Yoshi Domoto, again, JapanFest Society of Georgia, and he brought with him Kris Miller with Hoshizaki America, Jessica Cork with YKK Corporation of America, and Brian Lee with Beard Papa's Peachtree Corners. We're not friends with Brian right now. We'll explain why in a few minutes. We're not happy with Brian. We just met him. Don't even know him.
Speak for yourself. I'm still holding out hope that after the show, later today, he will become a very dear friend of mine.
Yoshi, welcome. I don't know why you come back every year. I mean, you put up with us. So
That's the first question. Yoshi, why do you come back every year?
Yeah, why do you come back? Why do you put up with us? You're good people.
We love your show. I mean, you guys are so much fun. And, it's been actually a couple of years since we've been back because of the pandemic. Yeah. So we're so excited that we're finally able to host an in-person festival coming up here September 17th and 18th here in Gwinnett at the Gas South District. So thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of JapanFest. My family's are big fans. We go every year when we can. And so tell people first about the JapanFest Society of Georgia and what your mission is. And then let's get a little bit more into details about JapanFest.
Sure, yeah. So I'm the executive director of the JapanFest Society of Georgia. We are a nonprofit that basically brings together the Japanese and American communities here in Georgia. Japan is actually Georgia's #1 foreign investor. Over 600 Japanese affiliated companies here. They've invested about $11 billion in our state's economy. And these companies employ about 40,000 people in Georgia. So there's a whole lot happening economically, business-wise. And that's part of the reason why we're here, to make it easier for Japanese and Americans to do business with one another. But we also like to teach Americans about Japanese culture, do a lot of educational exchange, and also promote friendship and allow for social networking to kind of happen between both Japanese and American communities. But one of the largest events that we host every year is JapanFest. Mm-hmm. And JapanFest is the largest Japanese festival in the Southeast here in the U.S. We typically have about 20,000, 25,000 people come out and to basically celebrate Japan here in Georgia, not only with the economic ties, but it's so much fun to have at the festival. We have Japanese art, music, dance, performers, food, cultural exhibits, martial arts, anime, manga, and anything to do with Japan we have at the festival.
And again, that is happening this year, September 17th and 18th at the Gas South Convention Center here in Duluth. And you said it's been a couple years. The pandemic obviously shifted so many different things. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to most about JapanFest coming back? And The Gas South Convention Center has kind of undergone some changes itself. Is there anything new for those people who've been in past years that they need to look forward to that maybe they haven't seen before?
Right, yeah. So it seems like for us at least, it's been forever since we hosted a festival in person. So just first and foremost, we're just so happy to be able to do this in person, physically be at the venue, and then really celebrate Japan, right? So, and actually, this is our 35-year anniversary of the festival. The festival actually started in 1981 as Japan Week, where various Japan-related events, smaller events, kind of took place all in 1 week. But then 1986, it all came together to be one big event and one festival. So we're going to be celebrating our 35-year anniversary. So that's part of our theme this year. And also our theme is kind of resurgence and resilience. There's a Japanese proverb, Nanakorobi Yaoki, which means fall down 7 times, get up 8. Right, so no matter what happens, the Japanese community is resilient, and then we get up no matter how many times we get down, right? So, but this year, as you mentioned, there's a lot of renovations happening at Gas South District. So we're not going to be utilizing the normal area of the convention center that we typically have the festival at, but this year there's a brand new convention center, brand new facility. So we'll be kind of taking over that whole area to have the various exhibits, food vendors, company exhibits, and all sorts of performances. So it'll be a brand spanking new festival, actually, because we'll be in a brand new facility, right? So everything's going to be sparkling and kind of all shiny. So we'll be looking forward to, really celebrate the traditional and old history of Japan at a brand new facility here in Gwinnett.
Yeah, and I was there yesterday, and the renovations are amazing. That place is just gorgeous, so I'm looking forward to that. We mentioned you brought 3 of your closest friends, the guests, Jessica, Brian, and Kris. Explain their connection to JapanFest.
So of course we hang out all the time, right, outside of JapanFest. But so all of our guests today are have a very close connection to Japan, obviously, and then JapanFest. Kris with Hoshizaki America is a big sponsor of ours, and he'll talk about all the great things that his company is doing. But they're actually providing the refrigerators at the festival to help out all of our food vendors. And actually one of our main performance stages is going to be called the Penguin stage. You'll find out, I guess, the mascot of Hoshizaki America. But also we have Jessica Cork, who's actually the chair of the Japan-America Society of Georgia and co-chair of JapanFest, and she has very extensive history with Japan as well. We've been working together on all sorts of Japan-related projects, some related with YKK and her company, and some kind of more on the cultural side, as we actually built a Peace Bell Tower at the Carter Center. We just completed a few weeks ago. Kind of an amazing story about kind of how that kind of bell came to be at the Carter Center, and we really built a one-of-a-kind structure to kind of house that bell. And then also we have Brian Lee with Beard Papa, Petrie Corners, and they're one of the food vendors. And I promise they will have cream puffs at the festival, right? So everyone, certainly we're all friends, but then everyone has a very close connection to JapanFest this year.
Great. And that's why we give Brian a hard time. He didn't bring any cream puffs with him this morning, so we're a little upset about that.
Because they're all getting ready for JapanFest.
We're going to give him a pass.
Yeah,
we'll give him a
absolutely.
pass. Yeah. Kris, tell us a little bit about your company, Hoshizaki America, and really what you do.
Okay.
I'm going to assume it has something to do with refrigeration?
I hope so.
A little bit.
Okay.
We do refrigeration, which means we make reach-ins, which would be refrigerators or freezers. That's in our Griffin facility, and we have about 300 people or employees that work down there. In our larger facility in Peachtree City, we make ice machines. It's one of those things that pretty much every restaurant has. You kind of take it for granted, but it's very important to the food service industry, and we have around 500 people that work there in Peachtree City. And to recognize the penguin, from now on, when you go into a restaurant, especially we call the beverage dispensers, if you look at the machine on top of the beverage dispenser, it will be made with stainless steel, and there's a little penguin in the bottom right corner. And that's our branding. And once you see it the first time, you'll see it every time you go into a restaurant.
Does the penguin have a name?
He does not.
Okay. Well, sounds like a marketing future. Like that's
Yes.
the next step, right?
I will
everybody
definitely
name it.
look into that.
So you said in beverage dispensers. So for those people who've never heard of Hoshizaki, so they can find them in restaurants. What specifically are they looking for, and where should we open our eyes to kind of see where these things are?
So when we first started back in the 80s in the United States, we'd call it the back of the house in the kitchen area.
Okay.
But nowadays, especially more of the fast food, quick restaurants, when you get your own beverage yourself, they'll be on top of the soda dispenser.
Got it.
And we actually, part of Hoshizaki, there's a company in Texas, Lancer, who is a sister company of ours. So they make the beverage dispenser, and then we make the ice machines primarily that go on top.
Okay.
Hoshizaki, easy for me to say, America is the company. Your favorite part about working there?
So I've been there for 27 years.
27 years.
Yes.
It must be a good place to work.
Yes,
then.
it is. It's fantastic. Most of my time has been in the engineering department, and even though you think of ice, it is changed constantly through that.
Really?
Well, with the change in the restaurants, the applications we use. We are in the stadium. We're in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So just the logistics and how people use ice, and again, as I mentioned before, coming from the kitchen into the direct contact with the end users and the customers, the applications have always changed, which has made it very enjoyable, especially from the engineering side and even the manufacturing side of evolving with the food service industry.
And in doing engineering, not to mention the fact that just ice in general, for those of us that have been around more than 27 years, the way the ice has changed in your glass, different styles of ice that comes out at different restaurants. I would imagine we could have a very engaging conversation engineering-wise of just, because it's something everybody needs but takes for granted. And I'm sure it's not just, you just wave a magic wand and ice appears. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
So we make 6 different types of ice.
Okay.
And I say ice, it's all water. We freeze it the same way. It gets cold,
but
the
it's
style and the
out,
shape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
What are the 6 ways of ice?
Does he know them off the top of his head?
We don't want to do this into a tech talk,
right.
but
Cubed.
So we have the crescent cube, which is our most popular.
Okay.
Then we have the chewable ice.
Yeah.
We have a large square cube. What was that? We have a smaller square cube, a sphere, and then finally we call it flaked ice, which you'd put like in a salad bed.
Nice.
He passed the test.
Yes.
Did a good job.
You
there.
almost passed the test of ringing that bell. So you've been there 27 years, and it's located here in Georgia. Is that something? Are you guys always looking for people who are looking for career opportunities or even short-term jobs?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We're always looking for people. We are a growth company. We have a lot to do, and we have what I like also is we manufacture there in Peachtree City and in Griffin. Our corporate headquarters are there, so everyone's in one place. So everything that has to do with a business vertically integrated is there.
And I was going to say, it's probably also because it's manufacturing, there are jobs for high school graduates, there are jobs for college graduates, there are all different kinds, white collar, blue collar, good hard work that needs to be done, and incredibly necessary because, hey, I got to have my sphere ice, and who's going to deliver it to me?
Exactly.
Except for Hoshizaki.
Kris Miller, by the way, is the Vice President of Manufacturing for the company. Your association with JapanFest seems like that would just be a natural.
Very much so. We've supported JapanFest for many years, and of course, a couple years we had wait for the pandemic to get through, but over the years we've supported them with ice machines, and now this year will be with the refrigeration to support the food vendors.
Great. And for those that would like to find out more about Hoshizaki America, where can they get some information if they want to look at career opportunities or get your products and equipment into their place?
Or give you an idea for a name for the penguin.
All of that. Well, the fastest and easiest way is to go to our website, HoshizakiAmerica.com. Of course, that shows all of our products, but you also have all of our career page is on there where you can see all the job postings that we currently have.
Great. Our next guest now here on Gwinnett Business Radio, Jessica Cork. She's the Vice President, Community Engagement and Corporate Communications for YKK.
YKK.
Got to put my glasses on.
YKK
Corporation of America. I wanted to make sure I got that right. Jessica was on, 6 or 7 years ago, had such a great time that...
You weren't wearing glasses back then.
No, I wasn't. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we were a lot younger back then. Anyway, Jessica, welcome back to the program. You came back.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wouldn't miss it.
YKK Corporation of America. What do you guys do?
Yeah, so I would tell you the first thing you need to do is take a look at your jeans because most likely the zipper on it is made by YKK. We make 10 billion zippers a year, so we're one of the largest zipper manufacturers in the world.
I can't believe 10 billion zippers are made every year.
They are, and increasing every year.
Really?
Increasingly. Yeah.
Shouldn't your company be called XYZ Corporation then?
That was a very Americanized thing to say.
Well, the
so
next
I don't know what
question I
global-
get all the time is, what does YKK stand
Absolutely.
for? So don't you want to know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a Japanese company, so naturally Japanese name, Yoshida Kogyo Kabushiki Kaisha. So you can see why we use YKK.
Impressive.
Most impressive.
Yes.
So the other question that I wanted to ask is, you said you guys 10 billion zippers a year. Is this the type of industry that there's a lot of competition, or is it just you, or are there a handful of companies that do this?
Actually, there's a lot of competition, but I do have to say it depends on which country you're manufacturing. So we manufacture here in Georgia. Our major manufacturing facilities in Macon, and most people think about zippers on apparel, but in fact, most of our business here in the United States is not apparel, because of course apparel is made in places like Bangladesh, Vietnam, China primarily. Interestingly, when we first started manufacturing here, we did make zippers for apparel, and that, in the 90s, that business really shifted out of the region. So these days we're making zippers for things like spacesuits and the automotive industry and the diving industry and things that are really life or death. So a lot of our competition will be, in Asia we have a lot of competition for the apparel industry.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I know your company likes to be involved in things in the community where you work and play and live and so forth. So talk about your association with JapanFest. Yoshi mentioned earlier you've been on the board for a while and you're very involved with JapanFest. But talk about why YKK of America is part of JapanFest every year.
Yeah, well, sure. Well, we have, we're very proud of our corporate philosophy, which is called the cycle of goodness, and that says no one prospers without rendering benefit to others. So the founder of our company really believes that you don't just, work for the customer or even for your employees, but you also need to give back to the community. So we basically see that we have three stakeholders, including the community. So we were the first, we like to say we were the first Japanese company in Georgia. We have a friendly rivalry with Murata, and it's all down to exactly what month and in what year. But we were here.
What year?
So 1970.
Okay.
We had 1970. We had a sales office here, and then we started our manufacturing facility in 1974. But basically, we've been involved with the Japanese community since then, because being kind of the pioneer when the people that started that factory first came here, there weren't any Japanese people here, and so we really had to kind of make sure, first of all, that people knew something about Japanese culture and were interested in Japanese culture. And we started that primarily in Macon. So we've been part of, for example, the Cherry Blossom Festival since the year it started back, I think it was 1983. And then with the Japan America Society, we've had many of our former presidents, both Japanese and American, who have been chair of the society and very involved. I personally have been involved with JapanFest and Japan America Society since 2001 when I moved here to Georgia. And prior to my role at YKK, I worked for the Japanese consulate in Atlanta, and so I was probably half of my job was working on JapanFest. So I know a lot about how that festival is put together and can appreciate what Yoshi's doing right now. And
currently, you are also serving on the board of the JASG, the Japan American Society of Georgia. And beyond JapanFest, talk a little bit. I believe there's a project going on currently that's very near and dear to your heart. Talk a little bit about that.
That's right. Yeah, so Yoshi just referenced that a while ago, and it is definitely the thing I think that we're the most proud of as far as this year that we've been working on. Back about 18 months ago, the consulate convened a group of the four largest Japanese related organizations in Georgia. So the Japan America Society, the Japanese Chamber of Commerce, the JETRO, which is the Japan External Trade Organization, and of course the consulate. And the idea was put forth to build a symbol of friendship between Japan and the United States. And so we got together as a group and we started thinking about, well, what would that be? It could be a garden or it could be a bridge. And I'm very involved through my work with YKK with the Carter Center, because YKK actually decided on investing in Georgia because Jimmy Carter was governor of Georgia at the time, and it was really his idea to encourage foreign direct investment in the state, and he started pretty much with Japan. And so the founder of YKK became very good personal friends with Jimmy Carter, and then all the way through after he became president. So what I've been going to the Carter Center for a long time related to my job with YKK, and I've always noticed when you enter into the front door of the Carter Center, there is a bell, Japanese bell. And there's this little tiny plaque next to the bell that explains that this bell came from a temple in Japan, and it was gifted to President Carter in 1985 to commemorate the founding of the Carter Center. Well, it turns out if you read the tiny writing on that plaque, that bell was actually given from the temple in Japan, is in Hiroshima, was given to the Navy during World War II because there was an ordinance that went out throughout Japan in 1942. Basically, every temple in Japan had to give up their bell to melt it down into ammunition. So the temple thought their bell was lost. It somehow survived the war, unbeknownst to the temple, survived the war, ended up in England, and then ended up in Florida, of all places. We don't know exactly how all of this happened, at which point it was purchased by the Japanese Chamber in 1985 and gifted to President Carter. It was only after that they found out that this came from this temple in Japan. And so back then they went back and they told the temple, guess what? We found your bell. Not only that, President Carter has it. And there was some debate about, well, should we return it? President Carter wanted to return it. And the town was so thrilled that it was being displayed at the Carter Center as a symbol of peace between Japan and the United States, that they said, please keep it. We're going to make a replica bell. And then President Carter, please come to our town. And when we do the dedication of the replica bell, please come. So he came. And then after that, they started a sister city relationship with Americus, Georgia, right next to Plains, where President Carter's from, continued, till today, since 1991. So anyway, we decided that this is such a great story. And people do not know this story. And it really needs to have a proper bell tower so that people can come and they can ring the bell, they can think about the story, they can celebrate the good relationships. And so we've been working for the past 18 months with the town in Hiroshima to build a replica of their temple bell tower using traditional Japanese construction methods. We had the carpenters come over from Japan. We shipped all the materials from Japan, and it was just completed last week. And the dedication will be held on September 30th at the Carter Center.
Very cool story.
That's
Congratulations.
Awesome.
That's very unique.
Thanks for doing that.
Yep. Before we let you go, though, I know there's something else that seems to be close to your heart, and that is for kids to get them to maybe learn a second language at a young age.
Yes.
And you're part of something that's going on there as well with some schooling.
Absolutely. That's another thing I'm very excited about. So I am a founding board member of International Charter Academy of Georgia, which is the first public charter school in Georgia that focuses on Japanese English dual language immersion. So it is a K through 5 school, and the kids spend 50% of the day in Japanese, 50% in English. We've got about 30% of the kids are from Japan at that school, expats kids. And it's just amazing to watch the kids, how quickly they can learn a language, but to watch how much empathy that they really develop for people that are different from themselves and can really, through exchanging culture and exchanging language.
We need more people like you, Jessica. Very impressive. Yoshi, she's a keeper.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We need more of her for sure.
For those that would like to find out more about YKK Corporation of America, where can they get that information?
Sure. That's our website, YKKamericas.com.
Great. Jessica, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, we're out of time today, Stephen.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah,
I'm
great
glad
show.
we did
Want to
it.
thank
Fantastic.
all our guests for coming. Oh.
We need to end the show because I'm a little hungry, a little peckish. I need a little something.
I know. We had
if
a
only
little
I
food
could
in us.
have.
We could have lasted a little bit
little
longer.
sweet treat.
Yoshi.
Poor Brian.
I know,
Brian Lee.
know.
When we leave today, Brian Lee's going to be
He's
all
like,
over
what have you
Yoshi.
done?
He's like, oh my God.
I hate those two guys.
No, Brian, welcome to the program. Thanks for putting up with us, by the way.
Thank you for having us.
Beard Papa's Peachtree Corners. I'd never heard of Beard Papa's before. Am I out of the norm, or is this something new?
It's getting more popular,
Yeah.
by the days, and more people visit our store. From we first started on 2019. Of course, we
Just in time for the pandemic.
Exactly. What was it? 7 months into the business, and then pandemic hit.
Oh.
But we survived that, and from this year, the business has been just keep on climbing, and then we see a lot more different people, like not just Asian. Of course, this originate from Japan, and it's more popular among Asian. But we've seen a lot more Americans, Hispanics, all kind of ethnicity, visit our store at the Peachtree Corners. So it's getting more popular by days.
Well, let's get some more people going there, because I've got a very important question. The place is called Beard Papa's, and it's mainly known for having the quote best cream puff in the world. Before you get to that, for those that are listening, can you tell me what is a cream puff?
It's very simple. It's similar to a choux pastry, just basically filled with some delicious, freshly made custard cream.
Okay.
And the custard cream is made from scratch. And of course, we use the highest quality ingredients, such as the fresh Madagascar vanilla beans. That creates the signature vanilla custard cream. Okay. And then the other thing is freshness. We truly believe that anything fresh will taste better. So
where did you get that from? I can't imagine that something's fresh is better. Of course, you want the fresh.
And what makes and you guys do say it's the best cream puff in the world. So the fresh ingredients, the unique ingredients to some extent. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I've had, as you can tell, I've had more than my fair share of cream puffs. How different? I mean, is it also in kind of how you create the outer texture? Is what are some of the other elements that make it the best in the world?
Yes, basically the dough, the shell on the outside, the dough itself is made of two different types of doughs. One that create the harder shell on the outside, and one push the inside out so that it creates like a hollow space inside the whole shell that allows us to fill in the inside with the custard cream. Okay. Yeah.
More cream equals better cream puff.
Brian, would I be correct if I were to compare this maybe to a donut shop where there's different kinds of cream puffs and all different kinds of flavors and so forth when you walk in to choose from?
Oh, yes. We have, I think, 13 or 14 types of flavored cream puffs, both on the outside, and we have 3 basic flavor filling on the inside, which is the vanilla, the chocolate, and the green tea. And then every month, the corporate will have a special flavor of the month type of filling that goes into all the shelf that any customer will want to make.
And to stick with the donut theme, we here in America, you buy a dozen, you buy a half dozen. When it comes to buying cream puffs, is there kind of a standard? Give me 10, give me 5. Do you guys sell them in certain amounts?
Well,
I know you'll sell as many as you want, right? But
it's by each cream puffs. Of course, we pack them in a box of 6 or 12.
Okay. So it is a dozen or half dozen.
Yes.
And I'm surprised you haven't asked this question yet, Stephen. The most popular cream puff.
I was just about to.
I knew you were going to ask it. Yeah. So what's one that if you've never been to Beard Papa's?
Yeah. What do you start with?
What's the one that you would highly recommend?
Well, I would recommend just the original with the vanilla filling inside. Yeah. That way you can actually taste the custard cream itself. Yeah. That's the jewel.
Get your baseline going,
yes.
Right? And then you can start comparing everything to the baseline.
Yeah, and then the next thing you can go is of course the chocolate eclair on the outside, and vanilla, still vanilla
Keep going.
filling on
Yeah.
the inside.
Yeah, come on. Give me some more.
Steven's getting all excited now.
Hang on, I got to get some water. My mouth is drooling. Okay, so I was going to ask this. You mentioned green tea, which I believe is one of the flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as someone who is as non, well, how would I say this? As someone who is as Caucasian as can possibly be, that's me. Okay. And I think sometimes when you hear Beard Papas and it's a Japanese company
That's true.
that you've opened the franchise here, I think sometimes I go, well, wait, okay, so how different is it going to be? And I like that it starts with a vanilla cream custard and cream puffs are cream puffs and you got chocolate, you got vanilla. Is there anything that you would say, and green tea I would say is kind of a Japanese culture? Are there other Japanese culture things that I might be able to try in a cream puff? Because I wouldn't imagine that.
Green tea, of course, definitely. That's one of them. What else?
I've stumped him.
What else?
Because you do vanilla, you do chocolate, and you have like chocolate eclair. So that's very much kind of.
I think the first
all
time,
cream puff
there,
history.
just get one of everything.
That's what I would. That's
Because
the other.
you said
Because
there
I
are
was
12 or 13 different
12 or
kinds.
13
That's like
every day
a
are
dozen.
available.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well then that's what you do. You get your dozen and get one of each, right?
That's a lot of. Well, the first timer will always try 2 to 3,
Yeah. Okay.
and then they're
Well,
like, "Whoa."
See how
go
excited
get
Steven gets when it comes to
6
food?
go.
I know.
You can never just have one, right? But my son's favorite is cookies and cream.
Oh.
And then also, I think mango is some of the, I guess,
Ooh.
the flavor of the month. Some
Yeah.
really kind of unique flavors that they have too.
like
But
that.
Right.
Now would be a good time to ask exactly where you're located. People are listening going, I want to go there. Where exactly is your store located?
Yeah, we're located at Peachtree Corners inside the new town center, the Peachtree Corner Town Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there other beard papas out there, or is this the first?
By the way, it's beard, not beer. Because I was saying beer and a cream puff.
I'm saying
now
beard.
we got something.
I'm saying beard.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I couldn't quite hear it. All right. Are there other locations here in Atlanta?
So yeah, we are the first one in the southeast, and then not too long after we opened, second beer papa opened up in Sandy Spring. Of course, these are independently owned franchisees, and then we're gonna have our second store just around the corner of Steve Reynolds.
Oh, now he's teasing
Yes.
us.
Give me that address exactly, and what's the opening date? I think Business RadioX needs to do a remote there for the grand opening.
There you go, Brian.
I'll take care of that.
I've got to ask the question. The other guest explained the meaning of the name of the company, Beard Papas. It seems like a different name for a place that sells what you sell. Where did that name come from?
It's just the creator.
He hasn't gotten that yet. Does every franchisee have to have a beard as you do? Because you're sporting a good one there.
No, they don't.
Okay. All right. Just checking. We get to the bottom of the really important issues.
I'd like to be on that meeting when they're saying, hey, let's start a business with cream puffs. We're going to sell cream puffs. What do we call it?
Beard Papa.
Beard Papas.
Yeah,
that's the
sounds
name.
like that name might have come after a night of vision and planning and some beer. And so they said, well, we can't put beer, so how about beard? Maybe that was it. I don't
We'll
know.
go with it.
We'll come up with stuff.
Brian, do you have a website as well?
Just beerpapa.com, and you can follow us on Beer Papa at Peachtree Corners, Facebook and Instagram.
You're on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yep, great. Well, congratulations. I know you're looking at opening new stores, so continued success with you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to being at your grand opening around the corner on Steve Reynolds.
Yes, thank you.
Which I will be at.
Oh, I do want to ask you one last thing because obviously you're here because of JapanFest. Your association with JapanFest, why you felt it was important for your company to be a part of JapanFest.
Oh, yeah, of course. Since this is from Japan, and when we first opened in 2019, Japanese Association, saw us and approached us and say, hey, we have this JapanFest in, what was it back then, in September, right? And then they say, hey, you guys want to join? We were like, Yeah, definitely.
Don't have to ask twice.
Well, beard
But-
papa is a cultural phenomenon in Japan. It's like every train station, like every
really?
like street, like in Tokyo and Osaka and large cities, there are beard papas everywhere. So when we found out that there was a beard papa here in Georgia, the Japanese community was so excited. So we had to kind of reach out to Brian and his team and get them to be part of JapanFest.
So the South has Krispy Kreme, and now Japan has brought us Beard
Papas, yeah, great.
I'm in.
Great
I'm in.
stuff. Well, Yoshi, great guests and great partners, obviously. Let's get to the most important question for those that would like to find out more about JapanFest and really get tickets. You said how many come every year?
We have 25,000
Wow.
people come out each year. And then, this is the first festival in person in 2 years. So I think, we're going to really set a attendance record.
Break some
So, yeah,
records.
come early. And
What do tickets look like? Do you get 2-day tickets, 1-day tickets? How does that work?
yeah, we have all sorts of tickets. So tickets are $15 per person. But then we do have 2-day tickets too, because it's really difficult and a very kind of big challenge to see everything all in one day. So we certainly encourage everyone to come for both days. As some performers perform only on one day, and then we have all sorts of workshops and exhibits and all different kinds of activities that it's really hard for everyone to kind of enjoy in just one day. So
And everything is contained at the Gath South Convention Center, right off Sugarloaf Parkway, and so you can see everything there. Right?
yeah,
You don't have
exactly.
to-
Just one-stop shop for if you can't go to Japan. This is the next best thing. Just park at the Gas South District, the new parking decks, which is very convenient now.
Yeah.
And everything is covered, and you just kind of walk on in and
They didn't have those
basically enjoy it all
parking
day.
decks last time you
That's
had
right,
JapanFest.
yes.
So now you've got more parking. So it's very easy to get in and out, which is amazing as
If
well.
you live in Georgia, I liked his tagline there. By the way, don't gloss over that. If you live in Georgia and you can't get to Japan, this is the next best thing. I like that. JapanFest.
Where can people buy the tickets? Do they go to your JapanFest website, or are there other outlets where they can get tickets?
Yeah, the best way is going to our website directly, www.japanfest.org. Yeah, japanfest.org has all sorts of information. You can purchase tickets there, ticket packages for groups or corporate sponsors if they want to kind of still join and support our cause. But all the festival guest lineups, performances, all the food vendors, including Beard Papas, all the sponsors are listed too. So it's a great place to just kind of learn all about the festival. But this year we have a lot of guest performers. They've been waiting 2 years to come out, right? So we have Matsuriza, the big Japanese taiko drum group that come every year. They've been coming for 30 plus years, but they regularly perform at Walt Disney Epcot Center. So they'll be coming out again this year. We have Motoko, the Rakugo storyteller. We'll be talking about some ghost stories and Japanese folk tales. Candy Miyuki, she's going to be making Japanese candy on site for the kids. So that'll be really interesting to see how Japanese candy is made.
Just the kids, not for the adults?
Maybe
You
for
can't have
you,
any.
Mike and Steven. You guys definitely maybe with your Beard Papa shoe creams, maybe you can have that. Junko Fujiyama will be playing some J-pop. We have Kyle and Sue playing the shamisen, which is a Japanese kind of guitar, banjo. Samurai Soul will be kind of doing some Japanese kind of samurai theater. Yu Oka will also be playing the shamisen, and then we also have Mariko Iwasa, who is used to be with the Ringling Brothers. She was the only Japanese kind of street performer that was part of the circus, but she'll be coming out to do a lot of things. And then our kind of big guest performer this year is a Kagura performer. Kagura is a very traditional Japanese kind of art form, Japanese dance. And this form of Kagura will have Japanese dancers inside this very intricate kind of serpent. It's made out of bamboo and all sorts of Japanese kind of wicker, and the dancers will be in the serpents and doing a kind of a dance to kind of really celebrate Japanese culture, to get blessing from the gods to really celebrate kind of Japan. So
whenever you show up, there is stuff going on for sure. You're going to be entertained.
Oh yeah.
Do you recommend people buying tickets in advance? I mean, I assume you can still buy them at the ticket windows maybe the day of, or do you save money if you buy them in advance?
Exactly, yeah. Definitely go online in advance.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cheaper to do so.
And you probably avoid the lines.
Exactly. So it's a lot quicker to get into the festival. There's always long lines. We've alleviated kind of those traffic issues with the new convention center kind of layout. But if you have advance tickets, which is a little bit cheaper, it's a lot easier to go into the festival and kind of start enjoying the day right away. So, JapanFest.org, everything's all right there.
JapanFest.org. Yoshi Domoto, the Executive Director of the Japan America Society of Georgia. We wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on how big this thing is. It gets bigger every year. I can't wait. I know my family can't wait. So thank you for joining us, and thanks for bringing your 3 closest friends as well.
Thank you. Let's do it again soon.
Again, thanks to Yoshi, thanks to Brian Lee with Beard Papa's Peachtree Corners, Jessica Cork with YKK Corporation of America, and Kris Miller with Hoshizaki America Incorporated.
Mike, I thought you were going to tie it all together, that if they go to JapanFest, all the things Yoshi talked about are great, but they'll also have the best ice they could ever get. And if their zipper breaks, it can be repaired, and great cream puffs.
Look for the penguin, by the way.
Yes. And before Mike closes out the show, I do want to remind everybody that love is what makes a Subaru. Enjoy big savings and a hassle-free experience at Subaru of Gwinnett, where people sell cars. Visit SubaruofGwinnett.com. Join their family today, or come in and see the difference if you're already a Subaruist. Make sure you check out their Facebook page and other social media pages for all the latest news, offers, and community events.
And a Seinfeld reference, no cream puffs for you.
No, that is not true. There are plenty of cream puffs for me at Beard Papa's, which is where I'm going today.
There you go. I want to thank Harper LaBelle for running the board and helping everything behind the scenes for us. Thank you, Harper. For all our guests, for Steve and I'm Mike. We'll see you next time right here on Gwinnett Business Radio.